Hello, beautiful people. Listen, Daruma, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be checking this very interesting video. And yeah, Diddy's been arrested, which is not surprise at all. And there have been so many interesting stories, information popping up here and there by the minute, by the day. And yeah, we have gotten or seen this very interesting one. So we're going to be checking this together. Let's check it out.
Sean Diddy Combs remains behind bars tonight after losing an appeal of a ruling denying him bail. The music mogul now awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges that carry a sentence of up to life, possibly life in prison if he's convicted. Let's bring in CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates. Laura, what's your reaction to the judge's decision to reject Sean Diddy Combs' appeal to hold him in jail without bail?
Well, in many ways, given the severity of the charges and what was argued yesterday as well, it was all but predictable that this could be the likely outcome here. Remember, there is a presumption of innocence, of course, for any defendant. But normally people think about a flight risk, thinking about whether someone should remain in jail pending their trial. But there were more factors involved, not the least of which is how prudent it would be and how feasible it would be to prevent the alleged activity from occurring while one is under the supervised release of a probationary period or out on pre-detention release. In this case, they found that it was not going to be viable as a solution to do so. And even though he wanted to post money, even have ankle monitoring, the severity of the allegations and possible obstruction or witness intimidation played very much into the decision.
Just imagine Diddy being arrested and he posts bail. And then let's say, for example, he was granted bail. Imagine what would happen or what would go down. Like, just imagine. The fact that even when before he was caught, people were scared of him. And even now, lots of people will be scared because nobody knows what is going to go down or what's going to happen, if they're also going to be called for something or whatever, or if they're going to be whatever, as well as lots of weaknesses and the fact that Diddy knows too much. He belongs there in jail. Not wishing this on nobody, but he rightfully belongs in jail. Let me know what you think.
And Laura, we also all remember that really awful, horrendous video of Combs viciously beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby in Los Angeles. How much of that footage actually play in the court today?
Well, first, that footage is undeniably disturbing to think about what we witnessed and that this may have been a precursor as a civil matter that would lead to the criminal allegations as charged in this. The idea of intimidation or obstruction or the abuse-related allegations, which in part are contained in this new indictment, would have weighed into the court's decision as to whether he posed a safety risk to the community specifically. Now, he has come out, as you recall, after that video to apologize for his behavior, to say that he was disgusted then and disgusted now with what he saw. But when you're talking about violent crimes, violent allegations, that will weigh in the court's overall decision about keeping the community safe. Now, he will be, as somebody who has some notoriety, he will have some level of protective custody, not in a traditional sense, but separation from maybe part of the general population or thinking ahead to what that might look like for him. But he right now is similarly situated with every other defendant who has allegations of this severity and poses a potential risk for intimidation or obstruction. Remember, some of the conduct they allege is as recently as 2023, later in the year. And as of last week, they allege that he made phone calls or there was some communication over 50 trying to access a particular witness that he thought might be a part of this entire endeavor. And so all that combined is likely what weighed heavily on the judge's mind.
It was interesting
Because I don't like Diddy. And of course, they need to protect him because, I mean, we best believe that Diddy is not the only one that was working or doing all of this. Maybe lots of very interesting people working with or working for or working together with him. Imagine, picture that, because it takes a lot of power to do all of this. Like, okay. So, I mean, before he goes to trial, he needs to be alive. He needs to be alive because, I mean, there are other interesting things that lots of people will not even want him to spill or talk about or share. Because imagine living in the exact same society, the same world with this type of people, this type of behavior. It is scary.
Mind.
It was interesting, Laura, that the prosecutor today read a text message one of Combs's victims sent to him after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit became public. She's the former girlfriend who was kicked and beaten up brutally by Sean Diddy Combs in that hotel lobby. The woman said, and I'm quoting now, "I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma," and said she felt manipulated by Combs. What does that tell you about the risk of witness tampering going forward?
That tells me that this particular indictment might be the floor, not the ceiling of what the allegations would contain. Remember, there are the civil lawsuits separate and apart from what a prosecutor will be able to charge. Those are normally ending in damages, often monetary damages. And a criminal prosecution, that can be used to build one's case and to buttress the credibility of other witnesses. This suggests to me, given that this is a criminal enterprise being alleged, and they talk about enablers of people who were around Diddy, it might be very likely that part of that enterprise could be to access people who they think might possibly be helpful to the prosecution. And that is very, very disturbing for any prosecutor thinking about how they're able to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, not only for the victims that are alleged, but for prospective victims as well in the administration of justice.
Very interesting. Imagine the power did he have. Imagine it for a moment. Even now that he's locked up, imagine his power. The fact that there are some people who are power thirsty, who loves power, who can't give up the idea or thought of being in power is crazy. And we've got tons of them that are like this, that are even worse than what we hear Diddy's doing or Diddy's done. Worse. But again, I bet you lots of people will not even believe when some names start popping out because they would not, just like Diddy, people did not believe earlier because they thought that, oh, Diddy could not do this, he can't do it, it's not possible. And they started calling others crazy and all of that. But now, look at it. So actually, who is the crazy one? But let me know what you think about this so far. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love to share that. Can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.